surfing and musical Elvis and all these things that I think will make for a really great sensorial experience.
Hi, I'm Carla from Cineworld Cinemas. We are so excited to bring this film to the big screen. We wanted to first of all find out, how did you guys get involved with this project? And were you, on a scale from daunting to excited, how did you feel about bringing such a beloved movie to the big screen?
Yeah, it sort of started, I had produced the live action version of Aladdin. So I had a relationship with Disney and sort of was thinking about like what other titles feel like they're ripe for updating or sort of reimagining. And this was one that, just out of love for the original film, but also seeing Stitch sort of in the zeitgeist. And this is even back in sort of 2019, 2020, like suddenly there's backpacks and stuffies everywhere. And it just sort of felt like he was coming back in a real way. And it felt like there was an opportunity with a movie that was set in present day, contemporary Hawaii with with real people struggling with sort of real issues. So it felt like it was so ripe for it. But then it became the next thing. This is terrifying. Why are we doing this? And you can only do it if you have the right director to pull it off. And sort of as we started looking for our filmmaker, we saw Marcel the Shell before it came out.
Oh, wow.
And I was just both sort of in tears, laughing, crying, late at night literally on a link on my laptop when I saw it. And that gave us the chance to meet Dean and sort of hoping that he could bring the same heart and humor to this story. And then this happened to be his favorite animated film.
Oh, wow. Very good.
In terms of daunting versus excited, I'd say 10 out of 10 out of 10. Lilo and Stitch, when it came out, like, changed my world. And loved it when it first came out. It's always been my favorite animated Disney film. And it just felt like, it always felt like the one that I thought could make a really interesting live action adaptation. Again, because of the things Jonathan been talking about, like it's a contemporary society. It's not fairy tale land. It doesn't have Disney princesses. It's starring this bizarre goblin genetic experiment, but it also, even the original kind of had shown me characters that, like, I'd never seen in a Disney film before, like authentic Hawaiian, down-to-earth people who are struggling with things we all struggle with.
A child who says, "Leave me alone to die." So you're like, if you can say that in a Disney movie, then there's something weird here that really sticks with people and that you want to bring back. So
how was the journey of finding the perfect Lilo, and how important was it to you guys for it to be someone authentically Hawaiian who understands the culture? Yeah,
that was super important. We saw auditioned, I don't know how many kids all over the islands, and we finally found Maya on the Big Island, and she really took our breath away the second she walked in. It was so clear that she, unlike so many of the kids we were seeing, at least to me, it was clear that she was the one dragging her parents to these auditions and not the other way around. And she just has like such a great spark, and she's such a talented natural performer. And I think we all felt like, oh, she could be really amazing at this.
What was it like having that moment where you finally introduced your version of Stitch to the world? Was that exciting again, daunting? Were you nervous?
Also, how 10 out of 10 on the daunting meter. So it was actually at D23 last year, and that was sort of like the grand reveal. And
with an audience.
We had put so much time, and I think Dean came out of both as an animator, working with the original animators. We'd shown the first sort of 3D asset to Chris Sanders, and there was enough people that sort of been like, this looks good, to be like, I think this looks good, right?
Yeah.
But you still never know. You put this out in the world, and you just hope people have such expectation and such love for the character. And then when there was this sort of outpouring of love of like, they got it right, then it was sort of like, okay, now we have to get back to finishing the film and making the film as good as that. But it was incredibly exciting.
I think I will never forget like the roar from the D23 audience when they realized what this was, because it was kind of presented out of the blue, and it was just like electric in there.
And it's in a world, we're showing this film in 40X as well. Are you guys aware of the 40X format?
We sure are, yeah.
Why do you feel like this is the kind of film that people like should go out of their way to see in that format, so they can really feel like they're, flying through space, riding those waves?
That's so cool. I think it has all those elements of adventure. It's a space opera. It's a really kind of nuanced, beautiful drama, but it also has surfing and musical Elvis and all these things that I think will make for a really great sensorial experience.
to you personally, what is your favorite thing about seeing any movie at the cinema with your ohana?
Yeah, it's the ohana part. It's like really, I know that, you know, it's always great when you see a movie that is a huge spectacle and you see it on the biggest possible screen with really lush sound design. All of that is amazing. But the thing that I love the most and missed the most, like during COVID and stuff, was laughing with people, crying with people, even strangers, but just feeling that communal experience. All of my favorite movie-going experiences contain some element of like an unexpectedly maybe like rowdy crowd or like, you know, people I bonded with over the course of a movie.
Yeah, shared experience. And what about you?
Well, I have a 9-year-old and a 5-year-old too, so you almost get to experience the way you felt in a cinema when you were a kid again when you bring your kids, and it's just so fun watching that experience through their eyes. And it is different than anything else they get. And everyone says, I can watch things at home and it's so great, but it's a different experience and they feel differently, and you know, it can be so raucous and so fun for them. So I think I just like love that, and I want every kid to have that moment here and sort of make this their Lilo and Stitch for their generation.
Yeah, beautiful. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Agent Cobra Bubbles.
We have a blue dog to catch.
No, I'm gonna give you to the count of 3, Stitch. 1.